When people hear the phrase, Social Security decrease in 2026, fear spreads quickly, especially among seniors, retirees, disabled individuals, and low-income families who depend on Social Security as their main source of income. For many, Social Security is not extra money. It is the foundation of daily survival. Rent, food, electricity, medicine, transportation, and even family responsibilities are built around the expectation that a specific amount of money will arrive each month. So when news, social media posts, or conversations suggest that Social Security payments are decreasing in 2026, it naturally creates anxiety, confusion, and sometimes anger. To truly understand what is happening, however, we must look deeper than headlines and examine how Social Security works, how yearly changes are applied, and why many people feel poorer even when the system officially announces an increase. First, it is important to make one fact very clear. There has been no official announcement by the Social Security Administration of a direct reduction or cut to base benefit amounts in 2026. In fact, as with most years, benefits are adjusted at the start of the year through a cost of living adjustment, commonly known as COLA. This adjustment is designed to help benefits keep pace with inflation. On paper, this means the gross benefit amount, the number shown before deductions, increases, not decreases. Yet despite this, millions of beneficiaries report that their take-home amount feels smaller, their financial stress feels heavier, and their purchasing power feels weaker. This gap between official policy and lived experience is the heart of the 2026 decrease conversation. The confusion begins with the difference between gross benefits and net benefits. Gross benefits are the full amounts calculated by Social Security based on a person's earnings history, benefit type, and annual adjustments. Net benefits are what actually arrive in a bank account after deductions. Most people live on net benefits, not gross ones. They pay bills with the money that comes in, not with the number written on an award letter. In 2026, while gross benefits rise slightly due to COLA, net benefits for many people do not rise in a meaningful way and in some cases feel like they are going backward. One of the biggest reasons for this feeling is Medicare premiums, especially Medicare Part B. For most beneficiaries, Medicare Part B premiums are automatically deducted from Social Security checks. When these premiums increase faster than the COLA, they consume a large portion of the benefit increase. In simple terms, Social Security gives with one hand and takes with the other. On paper, benefits are higher, but in reality, much of that increase never reaches the beneficiary's pocket. For some individuals, the deduction increase is so noticeable that their monthly deposit looks nearly the same as last year or even smaller when combined with other factors. Another contributor is taxation of Social Security benefits. Many people are surprised to learn that Social Security benefits can be taxable depending on total income. When benefits increase due to COLA, even slightly, some recipients cross income thresholds that cause a larger portion of their benefits to be taxed. This does not feel like a decrease in benefits, but the result is the same: less spendable income. Taxes quietly reduce the net amount, and because they are often withheld or paid later, many people do not immediately connect them to the COLA increase. Inflation also plays a powerful psychological and practical role. Even if benefits rise numerically, the cost of living may rise faster in areas that matter most to seniors and disabled individuals. Food prices, housing costs, utilities, transportation, and healthcare often increase at rates that exceed the general inflation measures used to calculate COLA. As a result, beneficiaries feel poorer even though their checks are technically larger. When someone can buy less food, fewer medicines, or fewer basic necessities than they could the year before, it feels like a decrease no matter what the official numbers say. Another reason the 2026 decrease narrative persists is timing and deductions alignment. January is the month when COLA begins, but it is also when many other changes take effect. Insurance premiums adjust, deductibles reset, rent increases begin, and annual expenses arrive. When all of these hit at once, the benefit increase can disappear immediately. The brain associates January with loss rather than gain, reinforcing the belief that Social Security has been reduced. There is also a deeper long-term fear influencing how people interpret 2026 updates, concerns about Social Security's future funding. For years, reports have discussed the long-term solvency of the Social Security Trust Fund. These discussions often mention the possibility of benefit reductions decades in the future if no legislative action is taken. Although these projections do not apply to 2026 and are not automatic, they influence public perception. When people hear Social Security and decrease in the same sentence, they connect it to these long-term warnings, even when no immediate cuts exist. Media language plays a role as well. Headlines are often written to attract attention rather than to educate. Words like cut, slash, drop, shrink, or decrease generate clicks, but they often oversimplify complex realities. A decrease in buying power is not the same as a decrease in benefit amount, yet the two are frequently blended together in public conversation. This blending creates confusion and fear, especially among audiences who may not have the time or energy to analyze policy details. Another subtle factor is rounding and individual calculation differences. COLA is applied to each benefit individually, not as a flat dollar amount. Depending on a person's benefit size, rounding rules can cause their increase to look smaller than expected. Someone may calculate a rough percentage increase in their head and then feel disappointed when the actual deposit does not match their expectation. This disappointment reinforces the belief that something has been taken away. For SSI recipients, the situation can feel even more difficult. SSI is designed to support individuals with very limited income and resources. Even small changes in deductions, living arrangements, or state supplements can affect monthly amounts. When SSI payments fail to keep pace with real-world expenses, recipients often describe the experience as a decrease, even when the official benefit rate increases slightly. Emotionally, the idea of a Social Security decrease touches a deep nerve. Many beneficiaries have paid into the system for decades. They see Social Security not as charity, but as earned income. When their standard of living declines, it feels like a broken promise. This emotional reality is just as important as the financial one. A system that technically increases benefits but fails to protect purchasing power leaves people feeling insecure and unheard. Understanding the 2026 situation, therefore, requires separating three different truths. First, there is no official, across-the-board cut to Social Security benefits in 2026. Second, many beneficiaries will not experience meaningful improvement in their financial situation due to rising deductions and expenses. Third, the feeling of a decrease is real even if the policy language says otherwise. All three truths can exist at the same time. The most important message for beneficiaries is awareness. Knowing why the numbers look the way they do helps reduce fear and prevent misinformation. When people understand that deductions, premiums, taxes, and inflation are driving the feeling of loss, they can plan more realistically. This may include adjusting budgets, seeking benefits counseling, reviewing Medicare plans, or looking for assistance programs that help cover essential costs. From a broader perspective, the 2026 discussion highlights the limits of annual adjustments. COLA is a blunt tool. It measures general inflation, not the specific cost pressures faced by seniors and disabled individuals. As healthcare and housing consume larger portions of household budgets, even regular COLA increases may no longer be enough to maintain stability. This gap fuels ongoing debate about whether the system needs reform, not to reduce benefits but to better protect real purchasing power. Right now, across the country, millions of people who depend on Social Security are checking their bank accounts, reviewing their monthly statements, and quietly asking the same question: why does it feel like my money is going down even when officials say benefits are going up? This question defines the present reality of Social Security in 2026. It is not a theoretical issue, not a future concern, and not just a rumor circulating online. It is a lived experience unfolding month by month for retirees, disabled individuals, widows, widowers, and low-income families who rely on Social Security as their financial backbone. At this moment, the Social Security system continues to operate under its established rules. Benefits are still being paid, cost of living adjustments are still being applied, and there is no official announcement of a direct benefit cut written into law for 2026. On the surface, everything appears stable. Yet beneath that surface, something deeper is happening. People feel poorer. They feel tighter. They feel less secure than they did before. This emotional and financial pressure is the true story of Social Security in the present time. The core issue today is not whether benefits exist, but whether they are enough. In 2026, the official benefit amount, the gross number before deductions, may be higher than last year. But what actually arrives in people's hands feels weaker. The money does not stretch the way it used to. Groceries cost more, rent consumes more, electricity bills are heavier, and medical expenses keep growing. When daily survival costs rise faster than income, the brain interprets that reality as a decrease, regardless of what official notices say. Right now, Medicare deductions are playing a major role in shaping this experience. For most beneficiaries, Medicare Part B Premiums are automatically taken out of Social Security payments before the money is deposited. As these premiums rise, they quietly reduce the amount people can use. Many beneficiaries do not see this as a separate charge. They only see the final deposit. When that deposit does not meaningfully increase or feels smaller compared to rising expenses, it creates frustration and confusion. In the present moment, many people are realizing that their Social Security increase is being absorbed before it ever reaches them. At the same time, taxes are exerting a growing influence. Today, more beneficiaries are crossing income thresholds that cause a portion of their Social Security to be taxed. This does not always happen suddenly or visibly. It happens gradually, quietly, often without immediate explanation. When benefits increase slightly, total income rises just enough to trigger higher tax obligations. The result is less usable income even though the benefit technically increased. This is happening now, and many people only discover it when they file taxes or review withholding statements. Inflation as it exists today adds another layer of pressure. Even when inflation slows in general terms, the costs that matter most to Social Security recipients remain high. Food prices fluctuate unpredictably, housing costs remain elevated, and healthcare expenses continue to rise. These are not optional expenses. They are unavoidable. When a benefit increase does not match the pace of these essential costs, the gap shows up immediately in daily life. People cut back, delay purchases, skip non-essential care, and feel the strain in real time. There is also a psychological weight present in 2026 that cannot be ignored. Social Security recipients are constantly exposed to news about the system's long-term future. Discussions about trust fund exhaustion, political debates, and projections of future reductions shape how people interpret current changes. Even though no immediate cut is happening now, the constant background noise creates a sense of insecurity. When people already feel vulnerable, even small financial disappointments feel like confirmation that the system is failing them. In the present moment, January plays a powerful role in reinforcing this perception. January is when increases officially begin, but it is also when many expenses reset or rise. Insurance deductibles restart, rent adjustments take effect, and annual bills arrive. When these costs hit all at once, the benefit increase disappears instantly. People look at their finances and see no improvement. Some even feel worse off than before. This is why so many conversations about Social Security in 2026 center on disappointment rather than relief. Another reality unfolding right now is the difference between individual expectations and actual calculations. Many people expect a benefit increase to feel substantial. When it does not, they assume something has been taken away. In truth, the increase may be mathematically correct, but emotionally insufficient. This gap between expectation and experience fuels the belief that benefits are decreasing, even when policy language says otherwise. For SSI recipients, the present situation can feel even more fragile. SSI benefits are already very limited, and small changes in expenses can overwhelm the system's support. When state supplements vary, when living costs rise, or when eligibility rules tighten, recipients feel immediate impact. For them, the idea of a decrease is not abstract. It is felt in skipped meals, unpaid bills, and constant financial stress. What is happening now reveals a deeper truth about Social Security in 2026. The system is maintaining payments, but it is struggling to preserve dignity and stability. People are not just worried about numbers. They are worried about survival. They are asking whether Social Security still fulfills its promise to provide a basic level of security. This question is present in homes, clinics, grocery stores, and conversations happening every day. At this moment, the most dangerous risk is misinformation. When fear spreads faster than facts, people panic unnecessarily. Some believe checks are being cut when they are not. Others fear sudden policy changes that have not occurred. This is why clear understanding is critical right now. Knowing that the system is not reducing base benefits helps prevent panic, even while acknowledging that real financial pressure exists. In the present time, readiness means realism. It means recognizing that while Social Security is still functioning, it is not immune to economic forces. It means understanding deductions, planning around timing, and adjusting expectations. It also means advocating for clarity, transparency, and long-term solutions that address purchasing power, not just numerical increases. The story of Social Security in 2026, as it unfolds today, is not one of sudden collapse or dramatic cuts. It is a quieter story of erosion, a slow squeeze, a growing gap between what benefits are designed to do and what they actually accomplish in real life. This is why people describe the experience as a decrease. Not because the system has stopped paying, but because it no longer feels strong enough to protect them from rising costs. Right now, this understanding matters more than ever. When people understand why they feel poorer, they regain some control. Awareness does not solve everything, but it reduces fear. It transforms confusion into clarity. And in a time when financial security feels fragile, clarity is power.